getting your first hit out of the way.
Ladies and gentlemen, your attention please.
J.J. Schwartz digs in now.
Number 10.
That's a strike. Going one.
Hey, 2 down here.
Puts it in the air out towards left center. Number 96. Moving under this one. And puts the squeeze on that. And welcome back. And now the DH, Rubiel Angeles. Pitch misses inside. Ball one.
Here we go.
Now one missed.
That's the ball. And we got no one here.
And it's fouled away. Next offering clips the zone count even at 2.
2-2.
Gets a piece there. We'll do it again. The 2-2 now. Lifted in the air out to left. Gentry under it. Drops into the glove. And there's one down. And the batter now, number 2. In there for strike one. One down, base is empty. Going to count 1 and 2.
Caught a break right there. Pretty good pitch in the outside corner.
Fouls it off, still 1 and 2. And the pitch. This one popped up. Number 31 on his way over. But it's the pitcher that makes the play. 2 down. So they're down to their final out. Now the left fielder, Chase Calabwe. That pitch gets the inside corner. Strike one. Slapped foul. Next pitch in the dirt. 1 and 2 to count. And a swing and a miss, and that is the ball game. Final score of 8-6 in this one. For Chris Singleton and our entire crew, I'm John.
A minor league pitching coach offers advice to a new member of his staff.
Welcome in, John Sciambi, Chris Singleton. Late stages of this one, nobody out in the ninth.
Kevin Center.
Number 10, the leadoff batter, as he looks at ball one.
Here we go, fellas. Let's go.
Next offering is in for a strike. That clips the inside corner for a strike. One and two now. That one off the bad part of the bat, just a lazy fly ball. Pulls it in on the run. And there's one down. Aaron Sabato, the next to hit. There's a strike.
Here we go now. Let's go.
Now 1-1.
It's getting squeezed a little bit here late.
Down the inside corner for a strike.
One down. One down.
Another 1-2. Got him! That's out number 2. So the bullpen doing a nice job backing up the effort from their starter.
Yeah, we've seen some pretty excellent pitching out of this staff so far. I mean, they've come in ready to do their job and get outs. They've been pretty tough to get to in this one.
Strike 2. Down the left field line. Should be extra bases. And now the tying run is into scoring position.
That's tremendous fight from him, and I know it's got the dugout fired up down there, down to the last strike, and he comes up with a hit to keep the game alive. It ain't over yet.
Swing and a line drive slicing into right field. Ball game. And your final score here today, 2-1.
A Double-A hitting coach touches base with a new arrival to the team.
Improving your reaction time in the field can take you from defensive liability to game changer. 2008 Gold Glove.
Welcome back. Now it's the shortstop, Ken Nakamura. Grove back to work. And first offering is fouled off.
Well, after putting up a nice inning on offense, got some runs across, this is where you look for the starter to go out there, have a shutdown inning. Don't give that other team any hope. You just hope that he can get through this inning, get the bats back up there while they're hot.
And the 0-2. Line drive, base hit, right center field. Around first and hustling for second. And he's got a leadoff double.
Good job of just putting the ball in play.
Here's Cody Hosey. 6-3 our final score for Chris Singleton and our entire outstanding joining us.
In the professional ranks,
A player new to his Double-A squad gets a tip. A coach draws a player's attention to a recent trend. Clutch hitting has not been a strength for this team, and their manager lets them know it.
Baseball's the best.
A player is challenged to raise the bar defensively.
one of the phrases that you hear around the game is try easier.
This minor league team is reminded that the eyes of the organization are keeping tabs on them. An agent needs to check in from time to time to make sure a savvy agent will. But the measure of a good agent. A coach hopes to help his player get more out of his plate appearances.
As hitters make their way through the minors up.
Clutch hitting has not been a strength for this team, and their manager lets them know it.
He is showing off an improved power stroke at.
A player is challenged to raise the bar.
We are a week away from the major league.
With the season approaching its final stretch, a manager.
Baseball players are notoriously a superstition.
A coach draws a player's attention to a recent trend.
Carlos, as competitive as professional baseball is, sometimes
Locked in a tight divisional race coming down the stretch, a manager looks to teach his young players about how to finish. A minor leaguer hears from his agent. With the team's chances hanging by a thread, this skipper calls for a last stand. With the team's chances hanging by a thread, this skipper calls for a last stand. Clutch hitting has not been a strength for this team, and their manager lets them know it. A coach approaches a player with a thought about his progress. An agent checks in with a client currently in the minors. A team is pressed to step up their focus defensively. A player is challenged to raise the bar defensively. A manager confronts his club about an unacceptable team statistic. A coach hopes to help his player get more out of his plate appearances. This manager appeals to his hitters to be more discerning at the plate. A player is challenged to raise the bar defensively. A Double-A manager is called one of his young... The word is good. Within 48 hours...
Before the break, we were talking...
A manager gooses his team about a lackluster...
When players start producing, especially early,
A hitter who has been whiffing a lot is coached.
he's receiving an immense...
What makes baseball different in every...
In the minor leagues, a lost season is never full. With the team's chances hanging by a thread, this skipper calls for a last stand. With the team's chances hanging by a thread... With the team's chances hanging by a thread, this skipper calls for a last stand.
We know a variety of things can contribute to a player's success at any level of baseball. But what about channeling emotions? We've got mental performance coach Kellen Lee with us. Kellen, how do you help a player channel their emotions to be more effective on the field?
Yeah, this is where mental performance coaching becomes really fun, where you ask a player, in that particular situation, what specific emotion would you ideally want to feel to make sure that you're in that zone to compete at your best? And whether that's confidence or calm.
The phrase "well played, Mauer" from the advertising campaigns for MLB The Show has gone down in history with them.
Clutch hitting has not been a strength for this team, and their manager lets them know it. A coach draws a player's attention to a recent trend in his numbers. An agent checks in with a client currently in the minors. This minor league team is reminded that the eyes of the organization are keeping tabs on them. A player is challenged to raise the bar defensively.
Was there a time in your career where you were going?
Clutch hitting has not been a strength for this team.
He's been in...
A coach hopes to help his player get more out of his plate appearances. This minor league team is reminded that the eyes of the organization are keeping tabs on them. A player is challenged to raise the bar defensively. Clutch hitting has not been a strength for this team, and their manager lets them know it. A coach draws a player's attention to a recent trend in his numbers. In the minor leagues, a lost season is never fully lost.
He's gone more than a few games now without drawing a walk. Plate discipline might be something to work on. I've got minor league manager Rachel Balkovec with me. Rachel, how important is it in a player's development to work on plate discipline and drawing walks?
It's absolutely vital. I mean, you're always going to see that people point to the example of somebody hit a home run with a pitch at eye level, but realistically, you're going to do better at hitting line drives, hitting the ball hard and in the air with a pitch that's down the middle. So you just have a better chance of success, and it's extremely important in player development.
Yeah, and Vlad Guerrero, the Hall of Fame outfielder, had the ability to hit pitches on the bounce, pitches that were a foot out of the zone. Most young players do not have that ability. So if you're on your way up, don't put yourself at a disadvantage by chasing a pitch that's in the opposite batter's box.
Everyone, including our players, points to Vlad as the example of why they...
He has been on a hot streak lately, really impressing.
A player is consulted about a possible obstacle in his career path. A team is pressed to step up their focus defensively. A representative calls with big news for his client. And, just like that, the course of a career changes. A minor leaguer is welcomed after being brought into a new organization as part of a trade package. His name may not have made headlines in this deal, but if he's a hit in the long run, it could be a real feather in the GM's cap. A coach approaches a player with a thought about his progress. An unexpected summons. A manager challenges his hitters to step up their game. An agent checks in with a client currently in the minors. A player is challenged to raise the bar defensively. A manager gooses his team about a lackluster area of performance. A coach hopes to help his player get more out of his plate appearances. Clutch hitting has not been a strength for this team, and their manager lets them know it. A player is challenged to raise the bar defensively. A manager gooses his team about a lackluster area of performance. A coach draws a player's attention to a recent trend in his numbers. In the minor leagues, a lost season is never fully lost because any situation can be a teaching opportunity. A manager draws attention to a telling defensive stat. A player receives advice about the refining of his game. An agent checks in with a client currently in the minors. Clutch hitting has not been a strength for this team, and their manager lets them know it. A player is challenged to raise the bar defensively. A manager gooses his team about a lackluster area of performance. A coach hopes to help his player get more out of his plate appearances. A manager draws attention to a telling defensive stat. A player is challenged to raise the bar defensively. With the season approaching its final stretch, a manager calls for heightened focus from his players. A coach draws a player's attention to a recent trend in his numbers. Locked in a tight divisional race coming down the stretch, a manager looks to teach his young players about how to finish. With the season's outcome coming down to a final series, a manager chooses his words carefully. Having earned a chance to compete for a league championship, these young competitors have gained the respect.
Ken Nakamura now at the plate. Bounce to the left side, and that's just foul. Nakamura playing up the middle at short, hitting ninth in today's lineup, and he was a third-round pick in 2023. One down, base is empty. Got him swinging. So digging in, Ken Nakamura.
Struck out on just 3 pitches last time.
Hey, come on now, big dog. Get your pitch.
And he swings and misses, and it's 0-1.
Well, all eyes on the double play ball in this spot. No better way to get out of this inning.
Hey, let her rip, let her rip.
The pitch. In the air, right field. Smith on the move. He's got it, and there's 2 away.
Yeah, that was a wasted RBI opportunity, but competitor like him.
And now the shortstop, Ken Nakamura. And he swings and misses at the initial offering. Elder checks the runner, and he's back in on a dive. 2 gone. The possible go-ahead run at first.
Hey, let her rip, let her rip.
To third, Candelario. They take the force out, third out. No runs.
Well, it's never ideal for a player to get sent down to the minors. However, there are plenty of examples of players who have gone down only to come back.
A manager confronts his club about an unacceptable team statistic. A player receives advice about the refining of his game. An agent checks in with a client currently in the minors. This manager appeals to his hitters to be more discerning at the plate. A coach draws a player's attention to a recent trend in his numbers. A manager gooses his team about a lackluster area of performance. A hitter who has been whiffing a lot is coached to return to his fundamentals. Clutch hitting has not been a strength for this team, and their manager lets them know it. A coach draws a player's attention to a recent trend in his numbers. A team is pressed to step up their focus defensively. A hitter who has been whiffing a lot is coached to return to his fundamentals. In the minor leagues, a lost season is never fully lost because any situation can be a teaching opportunity.
He's made it to the show.
Listen.
An early winter check-in. New to the majors, this player's offered schooling on the agent moves on from that topic. With the MLB draft already underway, a young prospect gets a call from an experienced scout.
What? You must be kidding. What?
Getting your first hit out of the way, your first at bat.
A Double-A hitting coach touches base with a new arrival to the team.
Improve.
A player new to his Double-A squad gets a tip.
We hear all the time from people.
A coach approaches a player with a thought about his progress.
He is showing off an improved power stroke at the.
A manager addresses his team about their recent slump.
Baseball's the best game.
An all-star player receives a check-in from one of his coaches.
Joe, during a season, you're going to see your fair share of struggles at the.
A manager draws attention to a telling. An agent needs to check in from. A savvy agent will. But the measure of a good agent is how well he can turn these possibilities into actualities. A coach approaches a player with a thought about his.
As one of the phrases that you hear around the game is try.
This minor league team is reminded that the eyes of the organization are keeping tabs on them. A Double-A manager is called one. The word is good. Within 48 hours.
Before the break, we were talking.
A player receives advice about the refining of his game.
When hitting the ball to the opposite field is something that could.
Clutch hitting has not been a strength for this team. Sometimes dreams do come true. The chance to see.
He's made it to the show.
Listen, nobody's going to sit there and say the kid can't have his day in the sun. Mom and dad in the stands. Major league debut.
He's just hit his.
A coach draws a player's attention to a recent trend in his numbers.
What makes baseball different than every.
For so.
It's getting late into the season.
A skipper appeals to his players to demonstrate some resilience and.
Baseball. Well, we spoke earlier with Kellen Lee, mental performance coach, about superstitions in baseball. And now let's get a player perspective on it. Joe Mauer, the former American League MVP. Joe, your teammate for so much of your career, Justin Morneau, was notoriously superstitious. What were some of the things that he did pregame?
Oh, my goodness. Where do I start? He had a few of them. I remember he had an old hockey jersey T-shirt that he wore under his uniform for every game. And after about 100.
We know a variety of things can contribute. The phrase "well played, Maurer" from the advertising campaign.
A manager confronts his club about an unacceptable team statistic. A player receives advice about the refining of his game. Clutch hitting has not been a strength for this team, and their manager lets them know it. A player with a hot bat gets a call from his representative. The player expresses interest in going elsewhere. A coach challenges a player to continue to round out his game. This manager is looking to get more production out of his hitters. A player is challenged to raise the bar defensively. A manager confronts his club about an unacceptable.
He's been selected for
all-star rosters have.
A player receives advice about the refining of his.
It's mid-July and the second.
This manager appeals to his hitters to be.
I don't want to hear about MVP.
A coach challenges a player to continue to round out.
Who's the one who said he's going to be a superstar? Let's not get carried away. I didn't quite say that, but boy, oh boy, he is on his way.
A skipper appeals to his players to demonstrate some resilience in how they finish a rough season.
And who better to talk about being the MVP than the former AL MVP, Ken Griffey Jr. First off, Ken, how do you...
An early winter check-in. This representative wants his client well informed. He'll have to try again another time. Clutch hitting has not been a strength for this team, and their manager lets them know it. A coach draws a player's attention to a recent trend in his numbers. This manager is looking to get more production out of his hitters.
He just hit his 25th home.
A player with a hot bat gets a call from his representative. A player is challenged to raise the bar defensively. A manager confronts his club about an unacceptable team statistic. A coach draws a player's attention to a recent trend in his numbers. This manager is looking to get more production out of his hitters.
He did it. Made his first All-Star team. Congratulations. 6-time.
A player is challenged to raise the bar defensively. A manager challenges his hitters to step up their game. A coach challenges a player to continue to round out his game. A skipper appeals to his players to demonstrate some resilience in how they finish a rough season. An early winter check-in. It seems the player is contemplating a change of scene. The player receives an update from his representative. Clutch hitting has not been a strength for this team, and their manager lets them know it. A coach draws a player's attention to an area of possible development. This manager is looking to get more production out of his hitters. A player with a hot bat gets a call from his representative. The player expresses interest in going elsewhere. A coach challenges a player to continue to round out his game. This manager appeals to his hitters to be more discerning at the plate. A coach draws a player's attention to an area of possible development. This manager is looking to get more production out of his hitters. A coach challenges a player to continue to round out his game. This manager looks to get his team's offense producing more consistently. A coach draws a player's attention to an area of possible development. A skipper appeals to his players to demonstrate some resilience in how they finish a rough season. An early winter check-in. A grievance previously issued is readdressed. A player receives an update from his representative. Clutch hitting has not been a strength for this team, and their manager lets them know it. A coach draws a player's attention to a recent trend in his numbers. A manager checks in with his ball club. A player with a hot bat gets a call from his representative. The player expresses interest in going elsewhere. A coach draws a player's attention to an area of possible development. A manager checks in with his ball club. An all-star player receives a check-in from one of his coaches. A manager checks in with his ball club. A coach draws a player's attention to an area of possible development. A manager checks in with his ball club. A coach draws a player's attention to a recent trend in his numbers.
He's continuing to knock the...
With the season approaching its final stretch, a manager calls for heightened focus from his players. A coach draws a player's attention to an area...
He just hit home run number...
Late in the season and way up in the race, a team is reminded not to take its eye off the ball.
And with that, the regular season.
Now it's Austin Meadows. Here comes a pitch. Hit weakly on the ground. Throw gets by him at second. Kevin Santos, the next Pirate to hit. He's got the power, but great contact skills. One of the best contact hitters in the game. And first offering is fouled off. Swing and a miss, and that's strike 2.
Cold night tonight, Boog, and that's a pretty firm fastball right there. I tell you what, memories of getting jammed, they are creeping into my mind right now.
Next one in the dirt. Outside. 2-2 now. And that just misses.
Really good take, especially with 2 strikes.
And it's ball 4. He missed down low.
That's a tough one to swallow right there. If you're on the mound,
as we go to the top of the 4th. Now here is Rafael Marchand. On the ground to first. Oh, what a stop. Got him. Great play to keep the leadoff man off. 3, 4, 5 due up for the home team at the plate. Kevin Santos. Out. To short, Turner. Slings it across. 1 up, 1 down.
Well, he's doing a nice job.
Man at first, Kevin Santos getting ready to hit. He's 0 for 1. Right side, hard hit. He takes it himself to the bag, and that'll do it. Brian Reynolds here. Puts a bunt down, right side, Santos. He takes it himself to the bag, and that'll do it. Back here at PNC Park, last chance for the home team. Now, Kevin Santos. First pitch doesn't find the zone.
I can't play around with him here. It's a 6-run lead at this point. Got to attack hitters, even if you give up a solo shot.
Next pitch misses outside. Now 2-0. Righty to the plate. Right field, down the line, and that one slices foul. The wind of the pitch. Good eye right there. And he walked him.
Second walk of the game.
Here's another look at the numbers from this shutout victory.
Well, it takes a team.
Joe, I remember back when you first burst on the scene, you dealt.
So 2 down. So next to the plate for Pittsburgh, Kevin Santos. And first offering is fouled off. And a pitch. That misses, and the count is 1-1. There's a swing and a miss.
1 ball, 2 strikes.
Foul ball, still a 1-2 count. They tried to get him to chase on a slider down and away. And now it's 3-2. That's foul off to the right side. Keeps the AB going. It's in and out of his glove. But they get the out at first, and that'll do it for the inning. Rafael Marchand stands in for the Phillies, known for his rocket arm behind the plate. On the ground to first. He steps on the bag. They limit the damage here. Up next for the Pirates, Kevin Santos. Grounded out his first time up. Swings through that one. 0-1. Santos getting to start at first, hitting third in the lineup, and a four-time MVP, one of the faces of the league. Runner takes off. Swing and a miss. Safe at second with a stolen base.
Well, with that kind of elite arm he has behind the plate, man, it's a pretty big deal when you can swipe a bag against this dude. Maybe more than anything, it prevents teams from just testing him, thinking that they can even steal a base. But right here, they successfully moved that runner up to scoring position. Good job.
Here we go, kid. Here we go.
The pitch.
2-2. Right now.
Knocks that one away, and we'll do it again. The 2-2 on the way. On the ground to third. The throw to first. Play made. That ends the inning. So first and second, 2 down. Brandon Marsh steps to the plate. Right-hander kicks, deals. Tapped up the first base side. He takes it himself to the bag, and that'll do it. A couple of hits in the inning, but they can't get him home. On now to the bottom. Here is Austin Meadows. Hit on the ground to the right side. Steps on first for the out. Now at the plate, Kevin Santos. This guy has turned into a beast. And first offering is fouled off. They've got a potent lineup. And when you think about teams capable of rallying from this kind of deficit, they're right at the top of the list. Swings and misses. And the count is 0-2. Way high.
Pretty standard high 0-2 fastball right there. If you're smart, you'll look for something down in the zone, but not too far. Don't want to chase that breaking ball in the dirt.
That's hard hit on the line. And that'll do it. Man at first with one gone. At the plate for Pittsburgh, Kevin Santos. That misses the zone, and that's ball one.
Part of the order coming through now, and with one home run already in this inning, they're definitely looking to do some more damage.
And that one fouled off.
Come on, big guy. See you drive it.
1-1 now. And fouled off. And now it's 1-2. Yeah, the 1-2 misses to even the count. Swings through it for the K. Gassed it right by him. One down. And now the first baseman, Kevin Santos. On the ground, could be two. Over to Turner for one. Double play. And we're headed to extra inning. So next to the plate for Pittsburgh, Kevin Santos. High fly ball, right field. Snags it for the second out. Kevin Santos, the next Pirate to hit. And first offering is fouled off. Santos, in his 5th season, hitting 3rd in the lineup. Can't forget to mention he's a former MVP. Strike 2. You know, we talk so much about how guys prepare for a start. For Giolito, one of the things that's really cool, he actually uses scouting reports and then plays fastball, and he gets out of the way. So the night before his start, he effectively goes over the lineup he anticipates he's going to face and plays the game. So he goes through an entire opposing lineup on MLB The Show, utilizing his own scouting report the team provided. Fights that one away, still 1-2. For Giolito, it actually is an idea that kind of came together with his buddy Max Fried. They played together in high school in Los Angeles, and they're not sure who started at first, but in 2019, they each began to go over scouting. Trey Turner at the plate. 0 for 1 as he reached on an error his first time around. 3-2 on the way. That one back up the middle, and it gets through. Lead runner around second. Here comes the throw, and he's out. 2 outs, runner on first. And digging in for Philadelphia, number 9. 1 for 1 with a single and a run scored so far. Towards first. Sneaks through, base hit. And now they'll have runners on the corners with 2 away.
That's back-to-back singles for him. Just one of those.
Kevin Santos, the next Pirate to hit.
All right, here we go. Let's go. Come on.
Lifted in the air, right center field. Marsh moves under it. And the inning is over. 1 down, runner at first.
He's safe.
With the MLB draft already underway, a young prospect gets a call from an experienced scout.
What?
Getting your first hit out of the way, your first at bat.
A minor league pitching coach offers advice to a new member of his staff.
It wasn't a perfect outing for him.
A player new to his Double-A squad gets it.
It's important. Ron, before we...
A player receives a check-in from one of his coaches.
There's been a movement in recent years to just let the kids play. Players...
A manager addresses his team about their...
Baseball's the best game. Did I hear bust anybody? Let's
A player receives a check-in from one of his coaches.
We're checking in on one of my diamond in the rough prospects. Currently,
This manager is hoping to stoke the competitive fire of his pitchers. An agent needs to check in from time to time to make sure his client is happy with his situation. A savvy agent will engender, but the measure of a good agent is how well he can turn these.
he has been on a hot streak lately. Really impressive.
A player receives a check-in from one of his coaches.
For so many players from Latin American countries in particular who sign as...
This team's pitchers are being challenged to ask more of themselves.
Baseball players are notoriously a superstitious crowd. Kellen?
A player receives a check-in from one of his coaches. A Double-A manager is... The word is good. Within 48 hours.
Before the break, we were talking about...
Of course, it's...
A manager admonishes his pitching staff for... Sometimes dreams do come true. This player is about to get the chance that millions only dream of. The chance to see if he's
made it to the show.
Oh, congratulations. He just picked up his first.
A player is entreated to keep developing this.
Who says you can win without...
What makes baseball different than every...
Well, we spoke.
Here we are in the final stretch of the season.
A skipper appeals to his players to demonstrate some resilience in how they finish a rough season.
It's getting late into the season, and
We know a variety of things can contribute to a player's success at any level. The phrase "well played, Mauer" from the advertising campaigns for MLB The Show has gone down in history with the fans of the game as one of the most beloved phrases associated with it. How often do you have people walking up to you and saying that or some variation of it?
All the time.
An early winter check-in. New to the majors, this player's off. The agent moves on from that topic. A manager checks in with his ball club. A player receives a check-in from one of his coaches. A manager checks in with his ball club. A check-in call from an agent to a pitcher who's been on fire in the spring. A player receives a check-in from one of his coaches. A manager admonishes his pitching staff for giving away too many free bases. A player receives a check-in from one of his coaches. A manager checks in with his ball club.
Oh, we're about halfway through the season.
A player receives a check-in from one of his coaches.
It's mid-July and the second half of the season.
A manager checks in with his ball club.
Who's the one who said he's going to be a superstar?
A player receives a check-in from one of his coaches.
I don't want to hear about MVP awards when your team is 50 out in August, all right? Can we take it easy here, please? There's a big difference about...
A skipper appeals to his players to demonstrate some resilience in how they finish a rough season. An early winter check-in. This representative wants his client well informed. He'll have to try again another time. A manager addresses his team about their recent slump. A player receives a check-in from one of his coaches. This manager is hoping to stoke the competitive fire of his pitchers. A player's agent calls to touch base. A player receives a check-in from one of his coaches. A manager checks in with his ball club. A player receives a check-in from one of his coaches. This manager is hoping to stoke the competitive fire of his pitchers. A pitcher is confronted with a less than stellar stat.
Improving your reaction time in the field can take you from defensive liability to game changer. 2008 Gold Glove Award winner Carlos Pena joins me. Carlos, what are some ways to improve your...
A skipper appeals to his players to demonstrate some resilience in how they finish a rough season. A manager admonishes his pitching staff for giving away too many free bases. A player receives a check-in from one of his coaches. A manager confronts his pitching staff about an unacceptable team statistic. A player's agent calls to touch base. The player expresses interest in going elsewhere. A player receives a check-in from one of his coaches. A manager admonishes his pitching staff for giving away too many free bases. A player receives a check-in from one of his coaches.
All-star rosters have just...
A manager checks in with his ball club. A player receives a check-in from one of his coaches. A manager checks in with his ball club. A player receives a check-in from one of his coaches. A skipper appeals to his players to demonstrate some resilience in how they finish a rough season. A manager checks in with his ball club. A player receives a check-in from one of his coaches. A manager checks in with his ball club. A player's agent calls to touch base. The player expresses interest in going elsewhere. A player receives a check-in from one of his coaches. A manager checks in with his ball club. A player receives a check-in from one of his coaches. A manager addresses his team about their recent slump. A coach offers support to a pitcher who's been giving up the long ball. A manager checks in with his ball club. A player receives a check-in from one of his coaches. A skipper appeals to his players to demonstrate some resilience in how they finish a rough season. This manager is hoping to stoke the competitive fire of his pitchers. A player receives a check-in from one of his coaches. A manager admonishes his pitching staff for giving away too many free bases. A player's agent calls to touch base. The player expresses interest in going elsewhere. A pitcher is encouraged to keep looking for improvement. The pitching staff is pressed to step up their game. A player receives a check-in from one of his coaches. A player on a less than exceptional team gets a mid-season call from his agent. In the weeks leading up to the trade deadline, a lot can happen. A manager admonishes his pitching staff for giving away too many free bases. A pitcher is encouraged to keep looking for improvement. A manager confronts his pitching staff about an unacceptable team statistic. A player receives an update from his representative.
Not lefty.
A player receives a check-in from one of his coaches. A skipper appeals to his players to demonstrate some resilience in how they finish a rough season. A manager checks in with his ball club. A player receives a check-in from one of his coaches. A manager checks in with his ball club. A player's agent calls to touch base. The player expresses interest in going elsewhere. A player receives a check-in from one of his coaches. A manager checks in with his ball club. A player receives a check-in from one of his coaches. As the trade deadline approaches, contending teams are looking for ways to improve. Contract year players on subpar teams can expect to draw interest. A manager checks in with his ball club. A player receives a check-in from one of his coaches. A manager checks in with his ball club. An agent calls his client with an update. A player receives a check-in from one of his coaches. With the season approaching its final stretch, the manager calls for heightened focus from his players. A coach offers support to a pitcher who's been giving up the long ball. Late in the season and way up in the race, a team is reminded not to take its eye off the ball.
And with that, the regular season.
Joe, I remember back when you first burst on the scene, you dealt with the pressure, the burden of expectation, right, of being the first overall pick. Did you feel that more in your first big league game or your first postseason game?
Well, they're very...
And the batter now, Pete Crow Armstrong. The wind and the pitch. That's in for a strike.
Come on, guys.
Ball one there.
Well, when you come off a tough one-run loss in the postseason, you'll be looking back at the opportunities that you missed in the previous game and make sure that you don't miss them in this one.
And now the lefty in the air on the infield. Sosa has this one sized up and puts the squeeze on that one. And there's one away. Now the number 2 hitter, number 11. First offering misses the mark.
1-0.
And that's in there at the knees.
Man, that pitch was dotted. So much talent on display when this guy's out there on the hill.
One down, base is empty. And a pop-up, right side, foul territory. Calls it in, 2 away.
Ball's just not carrying the first tonight.
Now, you would actually say that to your teammate in the dugout?
No, I'm not that cruel. But someone would say it to me, and I'm sure it's probably been said before.
And it's 1-1. There's a strike. 1-2, bottom of the first. The pitch. High chopper to third. And he picks it up and he'll put it in his pocket. And that one is lifted in the air. Thomas gets under it. And that'll do it. End of. Back here at the friendly confines. We head to the bottom of the second. Now batting Tristan Casas. Good eye right there. Next offering misses, and it's 2-1.
2 balls, 1 strike.
That one pushed foul. Two now. And down on strikes. Now 1 away.
Well, big power guy right there and generating so much bat speed. It's hard to bring that to a halt once you've committed. They tried to check the swing, just couldn't do it.
Number 68 stands in now and watches strike 1. Strike 2.
He doesn't seem to like the pitch up. Hasn't offered on either one of those pitches. 0-2 count now. I think the guy's going to climb the ladder out there.
Kicks and deals. Ball 1 low.
1-2.
Got him looking. 2 up, 2 down. Colt Keith, the next Cub to hit. First pitch just misses. There's a strike.
Looks like a really good fastball today. You can hear that catcher's mitt popping. Looking forward to hearing a lot of that one in this one.
Swing and a miss. And it's 1-2. Cuts and misses. It's a strikeout. 3 up, 3 down. Set for the bottom of the third. So up now for Chicago, MJ Melendez. Melendez goes 6. Foot 190 pounds. He joined the team as a free agent. Swing and a ground ball out to short. Save!
It doesn't really matter where you are in the lineup. Your job is to get on base and try to start a rally if you're leading off an inning. So an infield single does the job right there. Now we'll see if they can make something happen.
Miguel Amaya in the box now. Takes strike 1. Melendez on at first. Nobody out. Gets a piece and stays alive. Swings through it, and that's a strikeout.
Gets him swinging with that screwball, and it was a good one. You know, the screwball's often compared to a changeup because of the velocity and the arm side movement, but the big difference is what you saw right there. A lot more depth or drop than most changeups, and it caused him to swing right over the top.
And a pitch. And a foul ball. He stays alive. The 0-2. On the ground, 2 ball. To second for 1. And that's 2. Bottom of the inning. And now the center fielder, Pete Crow Armstrong. That one's in there. It's 0-1. That's out to center field.
I got it. Me.
Green makes the catch. And a quick out, number 1. And up next for Chicago, number 11. And he swings and misses, and it's 0-1. And ball 1.
1 ball, 1 strike.
The 1-1.
No.
Good slider down and in can be so hard to get on plane with. You're better off taking that pitch.
On the ground, right side. Fair ball. One gone, runner at first. And here's the first baseman, number 18. There's a strike. That's a strike.
1 out now.
0-2.
Stays alive. And a swing and a miss. Down on strikes. And now 2 gone.
He had him out in front, which isn't easy to do against a hitter like this, known for using the entire field. Just couldn't sit back long enough on that one.
Casas now at the plate as he swings through strike 1. Pitch is in the dirt, and it's a ball and a strike. The 1-1 is fouled off. Next pitch misses, and it's 2-2.
2 strikes.
Swing and a miss, and that is that. We head to the bottom of the 5th, and now number 68. They've got a potent lineup, and when you think about teams capable of rallying from this kind of deficit, they're right at the top of the list. And there's a strike.
You know, these Cubs, as this game goes on, have to be more disciplined at the plate. They've been chasing pitches outside the zone all game, and it's led to some frustrating moments. They've been fooled quite a bit today.
Next offering is in for a strike. Got him. And the leadoff man set down in their half of the 5th.
Yeah, that's a tough pitch to stay on. You don't want to get beat inside, and as you see that pitch continue to run away from you, by the time it's in the catcher's mitt, you think it's a ball off the plate away.
Keith takes a ball as he stands in for the second time. Popped up left side.
Mine.
Ponson makes the catch. 2 down.
The offense needs to start showing some fight against this starter. He's doing his thing out there. They're going to have to push back at some point and make him work a little bit harder.
There we got 2.
Left-hand hitter waits.
This guy's pounding the zone. Hitters don't have time to think in between pitches.
Fouls it back with 2 strikes.
Looking sharp, just a strike away from 5 shutout innings.
0-2 now. And a swing and a miss. And that's that. No runs, no. Here at Wrigley Field, and now it's Miguel Amaya. First pitch, and he just misses. Amaya, 30 years old now, and he was born in Panama. Out to short. Zips it to first, and that's 1 out as they get the leadoff hitter in the 6th. Now it's the second baseman, Nick York. He swings and misses at the first pitch. 0-1. Next
No,
offering
that's
is
the ball.
down
Too
low.
low.
And 1-1.
Well, on the mound, very efficient, able to produce an outcome, it seems like, within the third or fourth pitch of just about every at-bat.
The 1-2. Spoils the 2-strike pitch, and he'll see another. And here it comes. Hacks and misses. It's a strikeout.
With that kind of velocity, an elevated fastball, even if it's still in the strike zone, can be tough for hitters to get on top of.
And a foul ball. 2 down, nobody on. That one missed.
No.
Swings through that.
1 ball, 2 strikes.
And that's down and away. Swings and misses, struck him out. Ready to go for the last half of the inning. So up now for Chicago, number 11. And a pitch. And that's in for a strike. Strike on the inside corner. The 0-2. Bounce to the right side. Sends it to first. And they get the leadoff hitter in the 7th. And next for the Cubs, number 18. On the corner for a strike.
0-1.
Next one misses, and the count 1-2. And a base hit. So they get a man aboard with a 1-out single.
Well, he found himself behind in the count right there, but he didn't give in. Textbook bat control right there. Got a pitch on the outside, saw it deep into the zone, and just barreled it up, went the other way for the knock.
Swing and a ground ball up the middle. That's a base hit. Lead runner touches second, headed for third. In there safely. Number 68, the next Cub to hit. First pitch swinging. Runners are at the corners, 1 away. Swing and a miss. No balls, 2 strikes. Fights it off. He'll see another. Swing and a miss, and he is down on strikes for the 3rd straight at bat. Here's the third baseman, Colt Keith. And first offering is fouled off. Corners are occupied with 2 down. That one pushed foul, out of play off to the left. Next pitch downstairs, and it's 1-2. Swing and a miss for the strikeout. The high heat, too much. Back now, new pitcher on the mound as we roll.
Well, it is go time. He's about to start his first game 7.
Joined by my partner, Chris Singleton. I'm John Shambi. Bottom of the first. And at the plate for Miami, Sal Frelick. 0-1. Inside corner for a strike. And that one hit 97 on the gun.
Well, I think that's a case of overthinking right there. He got 3 straight fastballs looking in the 0-2 count just to pour it back.
Ahmed Rosario in the box now. No balls and a strike. Got him swinging. Couldn't catch up to the heater.
Well, anytime you can punch out the top 2 guys in a lineup to start an inning, got to be feeling pretty good out there on the mound, because when you think of just having a distraction, table setters on the base paths, and all of a sudden you're dealing with the number 3 hitter, any distraction can cause you to serve up a cookie, and instead of it being a solo shot, it's a 2 or 3 run homer.
Kicks and fires. There's the strike. And another ball. This one high in the air to left center. Thomas gets under it. Makes the catch. And that is that. Bottom of the second. And now here's the veteran DH, Anthony Santander. In the air, right side of the infield.
I got it.
He's there. He's got it. And there's one down. And now Alejandro Kirk. Top of the zone, and it's called a strike. This one popped up. Foul ground, first base side. Moreno pulls it down, and there's 2 away.
This lineup's going to have to find a way to make him work a little harder out there on the mound. I mean, he is just mowing them down. He's settling in. You got to make him uncomfortable. Maybe step out of the box, call timeout, do whatever it takes.
In for a strike, and the count is 0-2. Just misses the mark outside the zone. And a ground ball to first. Isaac takes it himself out with room to spare, and that as we go to the last of the third. And now for the Marlins, number 28, bunted back towards the pitcher. Leadoff hitter gone in the third. And up next for Miami, Tyler Black. That catches the top part of the zone. That's strike 1. Black throws right, bats left. 28 years old. And he was born in Canada. The next offering misses. And that is ball 1. One down, base is empty. Got him swinging. Now 2 out.
Wow, what a pitch for the strikeout right there, Boog. He placed that screwball on the inside, and man, that thing moves a ton. That's a unique pitch. So tough to throw. You don't see many guys throwing that pitch, but if you can put it right there against same side hitters, almost impossible to handle.
The 1-1. And there's the strike. Knocks that one away, and we'll do it again. The pitch. Fouls it off. Still 1-2. Caught him looking for the K. Miami down in order. And it remains back here at Lone Depot Park. And now here is Sal Frelick. First pitch doesn't find the zone. The 1-1 is fouled off. The 1-2. Swing and a miss, struck him out.
No, there's a small sigh of relief right there. I mean, just to keep that speed off the base paths. It's not just the pitcher. It's other guys that have to think about it. From your infielders have to think about that runner potentially stealing, but also be in position to make a play. As an outfielder, you're thinking about a base hit to the outfield. I got to get to it quickly to try to keep this guy from taking an extra base. So I think everyone just a little more relaxed that he didn't reach base.
Acuna in the box with 2 gone, and takes a look at a called strike. In the air, pretty deep out to center field. Auer racing over to make the catch. Back here at the ballpark, Anthony Santander at the plate. The pitch. And first offering is fouled off. Comes up empty. That's strike 2. He goes down looking.
Oh, there's a 3-pitch strikeout. He can do whatever he wants with the baseball right now.
Kerr, batting with 1 down, takes a strike. And that one fouled off. The Fish still looking for their first hit in this one. That one 95 to finish him off. Adalberto Mondesi up to the plate. And the first pitch misses for ball 1.
1 ball, no strike.
In the air, right field.
Ball.
Auer brings it in for the 3rd out. Bottom of the 6th inning, and at the plate for Miami, number 28 pitches in there, and that's strike 1.
And it really looks like these hitters have been in between with their timing today. Good fastball, excellent slider, but they've not been able to commit to one velocity and stay there.
And he deals. And now it's even up.
Really good take, especially with 2 strikes.
Pitch misses, and that's ball 3.
On this 3-ball count, down in the ball game, you've got to be very selective. Take your walk if they'll give it to you.
Auer makes the grab on the run. Tyler Black, the next up for the Marlins. In there, and it's 0-1. Swing and a miss as he was out front that time. Cuts and misses. It's a strikeout.
That was a well-executed slider away for the strikeout right there. First 2 pitches filled up the zone and got him ahead 0-2 in the count. And at that point, you can start expanding the zone as a pitcher. He made him chase and got the quick strikeout.
That's in there, and the count 1-1. The Marlins yet to pick up a hit here. Next pitch misses inside. Ball 2. At the belt and fires. Now a pop up on the infield. Isaac under this one. But it's the pitcher that makes the play. And welcome back. Set for the last half of the 7th. Here's the left fielder, Sal Frelick. The tying run at the plate. Now a high fly ball out to left center. Carroll grabs it on the run. And now it's Ahmed Rosario. And that's in there for strike 1.
He's been going after these guys consistently, and as a result, he's been able to keep his pitch count low. Throwing the ball very well right now.
That's to 3rd. Fires over to 1st. And a couple of quick outs.
Well, there's a lot riding on that at bat right there. Nice job of the pitcher to bear down, make the pitch, get the ground ball. Excellent piece of work.
Acuna stands in now and watches strike 1. The Fish hitless so far in the game. Strike on the inside corner. 0-2 now. And there's a ball.
1-2.
One and 2 now on Acuna. Good job to fight that one off. Looking to get the tying run on base. Got it by him for the K. And the Marlins. On to the bottom of the 8th. Now here's the Marlins DH. Anthony Santander. Swing and a miss. Strike 1.
You know, these Marlins just aren't putting together very many good at-bats in this one. We're in the back half of the game, and they're still searching for a base runner. He's been great out there on the mound, no doubt, but it's also been a disappointing performance at the plate to this point.
Line to left. In there. Base hit. And the bid for history is gone.
Tough to see the no-no end here with just 6 outs to go, Boog, but still a great performance on the mound, and now we'll see if he can get right back to work and go after the next guy.
And now the 0-1. Ball one there.
And as we get deeper, it's not going to get any easier. These at-bats are going to feel more and more desperate with every out the rest of the way.
No trouble here. Puts it away for the out. And there's one down. And now it's the switch hitting second baseman Adalberto Mondesi. Ground ball to first, could be two. Fires to second for one. Throw to first, but he beat it.
Well, he's doing a nice job of keeping the ball out of the air. Lets the defense work behind him with another ground ball. Good execution.
Number 28 in the box again. Takes a strike. And ball one. Mondesi, the runner at first with two gone. Next offering is in for a strike. Cuts on it and misses. That's a strikeout. Had him out front. Back here in Miami. So bottom of the ninth. Stepping in, Tyler Black. And first offering is fouled off.
Well, on paper, it's favorable to have a fairly quick inning here with two of the three hitters he's set to face batting from the left side, same side he throws from.
Makes the grab right on the warning track. One up, one down. Kira in the box now. No balls and a strike.
No ball. One strike.
Next offering is in for a strike. The punch out there, and he's down on strikes for the second time today. So the batting order turns over. Now the left fielder, Sal Frelick. The pitch. A little out front there as he swings through it. Swing and a miss. 1-2. That one the other way. To first, and he beats it.
Boogie doesn't care how he does it. He just wants to get on base. And when he does,
Reggie Crawford on the pitch out of the pen here.
And he's got a nice lead to work with, so he should come in throwing strikes, attacking these hitters.
So in this one.
Mm-hmm.